All right. If you run a small business, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those energy bills, they're just getting brutal, right? They're squeezing your bottom line like never before. It feels like this massive, unbeatable problem. But what if it's not? Today, we're going to tear this thing apart. We'll look at why your bills are so high, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it. And we're basing all of this on a brand new, really insightful report from Tran University. So let's get into it.
Okay, first up, just look at this number, $893.51. Now imagine that hitting your inbox. That's a power bill for one single month. And this isn't just some made-up number. This is a real bill from a real business in Louisville, Kentucky. And believe it or not, this one number is the key to understanding this entire story.
So where are we getting all this from? Well, it's all thanks to a super detailed analysis from the research team over at Tran University. These folks really dug into the numbers to figure out what in the world is driving these costs up, and maybe most importantly, how businesses can start to fight back.
All right, to make this real, let's focus on one specific case study, the Louisville Beauty Academy. Their monthly bill, it's a perfect microcosm of what thousands and thousands of small businesses are dealing with all over the country. It's really a story about unexpected costs and a lot of hidden charges you might not even know you're paying.
And this quote from the report, it just nails it. Energy costs are no longer a static overhead expense, but a dynamic variable that requires active management. Think about that. For decades, you could basically set it and forget it, right? Your utility bill was a fixed, predictable cost. Well, those days are long gone. Energy is now this living, breathing variable that you have to manage, just like you manage your inventory or your payroll.
Okay, so what is it? What's making these bills so wild and unpredictable? Let's peel back the layers here and really deconstruct a modern utility bill, because I'm telling you, the devil is absolutely in the details.
So culprit number one is something called the Fuel Adjustment Clause, or FAC. Basically, this is a little line item that lets utilities pass the wild swings in the cost of fuel, like natural gas, directly onto you. So what does that mean? It means when things get chaotic in global energy markets, your local bill feels the shockwaves. You, a small business owner, are suddenly exposed to the entire global commodity market. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
And then there's the second big one, grid hardening. Look, our energy grid is old, it's creaky, and utilities are pouring billions of dollars into upgrading it. We're talking replacing old wooden poles with new steel ones, things like that. Now this is super necessary for reliability. We need it. But guess who pays for that massive investment? It gets passed directly onto your bill through a whole bunch of different surcharges.
And here's what that looks like when it all comes together on a real bill. This is a simplified peek at the Beauty Academy's charges. You've got your basic fixed service charge, that's standard. Then, the big one, the energy charge, which is based on how much you actually use. But then, look at the other lines. You've got that fuel adjustment pass-through we just talked about, and sometimes even get a credit, like this environmental surcharge. It's this complex cocktail of charges that adds up really, really fast.
And the impact of all that? Well, take a look. When you add all those little charges up, the all-in cost for a small business in Louisville shoots up to over 16 cents per kilowatt hour. Now look at that compared to the Kentucky state average and the national average. It's way higher. What this tells us is that small businesses are really feeling a disproportionate amount of this pain.
Now let's zoom out, because this isn't just a Louisville problem. Remember the 2010s? We hit a whole decade of cheap, stable natural gas. It was great, but that stability, it's gone. Ever since the U.S. started exporting natural gas, our prices here at home are now tied to whatever's happening on the global stage. And that leads to these insane price spikes, like the one we saw during Winter Storm Fern. This volatility, this is the new normal.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's complicated, it's global, and frankly, it's getting worse. So what on earth is the solution? Well, according to this report, it all starts with a fundamental shift in how you think about energy.
And this right here, this lays out the choice perfectly. On one side, you've got the old way, being a passive consumer. You just get the bill, you sigh, and you pay it. But the new reality demands something different. It demands you become an active energy manager. What does that mean? It means you audit your use, you invest in efficiency, maybe you even start generating your own power. It's all about taking control instead of just sitting back and absorbing the shocks.
So how do you actually make that pivot? How do you go from passive to active?
Well, the great thing is the Tran University report lays it all out. It's basically a playbook broken down into two parts, things you can do right now and bigger strategic investments. All right, first up, let's talk about the low-hanging fruit. These are the things you can do like right now, and they're often totally free. Step 1, get a free energy audit from your utility. Most of them offer this for small businesses. Step 2, actually read your bill. Scrutinize it every single month. And step 3, enroll in rebate programs. A lot of utilities have programs that will literally pay you to use less energy during peak hours. These simple moves are your first line of defense.
Okay, next up are the more strategic, long-term plays. Yeah, we're talking about capital investments. Things like upgrading all your lighting to LEDs. That can slash your lighting costs by up to 75%. Or installing smart thermostats and controls for your HVAC. That can cut those costs by 30%. And then, of course, the ultimate move. Putting a solar array on your roof to generate your own clean power and pretty much insulate yourself from future rate hikes.
Now, I know exactly what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but these upgrades cost money, right? For a small business with really tight margins, is the return on that investment actually worth it? Do these things really pay off?
Well, the report delivers the goods. It's got the hard data. Just take a look at these numbers. That LED retrofit we talked about, it pays for itself in less than 3 years. A rooftop solar array, yeah, it's a bigger upfront cost, but it acts as a financial hedge for decades to come. The numbers here don't lie. These investments absolutely work. In fact, let's just pull out that first one and really look at it. A payback period of just 2.7 years for an LED lighting retrofit? Think about that. That is one of the clearest, fastest returns on investment a business can possibly make. It's just a perfect, tangible example of how taking active control of your energy pays you back, and fast.
But, individual action, as important as it is only part of the solution here. To create real, lasting stability for everyone, the report also says we need to be thinking bigger. We need broader, systemic changes at the policy level.
And the report doesn't just point out problems, it offers solutions. It lays out a clear path for city and state leaders. We're talking about things like creating an affordability rider to shield small businesses from those insane rate spikes, or making sure that massive new energy users, think huge data centers, pay their fair share, so all those costs don't just get dumped onto small businesses. And even modernizing funds that exist to protect essential community businesses from getting their power shut off. These are real, actionable policy ideas.
So that brings us to the final and, I think, most critical question. In this new energy era, you really have a choice to make. Is your business just going to be a line item on a utility spreadsheet, a passive victim of a volatile market? Or are you going to take control, make the smart investments, and turn your business into an active, resilient asset in the energy system of the future? The path you choose, well, it could very well determine the future of your business.